On behalf of the City of Yonkers Parks Department and Untermyer Gardens Conservancy, welcome back to Untermyer Gardens. It's been a minute since I've been in front of the camera. I'll reintroduce myself. I'm Timothy Tilghman, the head gardener here at Untermyer. I'm standing in our vegetable garden, and while most folks aren't thinking about fresh produce on a late January afternoon when we're all layered up, if we don't start thinking about it, we won't have any produce to harvest come spring, through the summer and all the way into fall, if we're lucky. To get that to happen, John Giacono and Liz Drieben, two of our gardeners, have been spearheading the project with design, plant selection, and a seed sowing schedule. And they're going to work that with our summer interns. In fact, it's a spring through fall internship. We'll have 18 kids over 3 sessions working with us for March all the way to the end of October to primarily focus on tending this particular vegetable garden. And while there's not a lot happening right now, you will see a bit of green. That's a cover crop of winter rye. I started germination a little bit late. We only have a average ground cover at the moment, but with a little bit more heat that we're having right now, in the 40s and 50s perhaps, we may see a little bit more coverage, and we'll have a good cover crop, which we'll talk about more as we move forward. So what I'd like to do is take John Giacono, who's down here looking at this space with me, but he's behind the camera at the moment, and take a closer look at the design and seed sowing schedule for the year. To plan for the vegetable garden takes much more planning and thought than I had even realized. This is the first time I've ever worked intimately with a vegetable garden. And again, it's really been Liz Drieben and John Giacono who have done most of the work on figuring out the entire plan. They started out with drawing each bed and down to the square foot. Then they start coming up with ideas about what crops they might want to grow and start filling that into the design. Each bed has its own map, and then they compile that in an overall scheme for the year to help guide them. We do a spring cool season crop and a summer crop, and then succession crops through that. And then if we're lucky and we can pull things together, we'll do another cool season crop going into the fall. So it's so much work and so much design and so much plant choice. I have the spreadsheet that they put together here in front of me. It totals 124 different vegetables, different crops. At least 6,000 plants we hope to grow in the garden this year. 14 of those crops will be direct sown. And again, we're trying to get good looking plants, good producing plants from spring all the way into fall. Again, this is only our second year of growing vegetables that we're preparing for, and I have so many questions, but one of the most common questions we get from our visitors is, after we've grown these ornamental vegetables in Untermyer's ornamental landscape, where does the actual produce go? We're lucky enough that we work with some local food banks and the Salvation Army. Liz and John gather up the interns, gather the harvest, and distribute it to the local community in that way. So that's the answer to that question. But I do have so many more questions about exactly how we can be doing the best thing here in this vegetable garden. And I'd like to let you folks know, February 11th, we're going to have a symposium on vegetable garden. We're lucky enough to have Kay Green from Hudson Valley Seed Company will join us. Nikki Jabor from Nova Scotia. She's an award-winning garden author, garden expert, award-winning radio host, and general garden expert. And David Mattern, a horticulturist from Chanticleer Gardens in Pennsylvania, who's responsible for Chanticleer. And if you haven't been to Chanticleer, you've got to put that on your list. But David is responsible for their ornamental vegetable garden, and he's going to give us a lot of insight. I have so many questions for them. I hope you can join us again February 11th at 2 o'clock. We'll do that virtually, and you can sign up on our website. I hope to see you there.